Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you all to Temis Technology's informative webinar on future prospects in the UK for tech professionals. We at Temis Technologies are helping purpose-driven techies from all across the globe to grow their career in the UK, irrespective of their career path. We are a London-based consulting firm specialising in career consulting, global talent visa, startup and innovator visa endorsements. We're recognised as the UK's #1 global talent visa, startup and innovator visa endorsement expert. For more information, please visit our website. To begin with, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Holly Bond and I am the host of this event. So today we have brought experts together to discuss the business and employment landscape, highlight key growth areas and suggest unique ways to find the right opportunities in the UK technology sector. Our speakers will also cover how technologists can expand their skills, make a name in the international market and enjoy employment benefits in the most progressive UK labour market. So today's speakers, we have Lee McIntyre Hamilton, who is the Global Mobility and Employment Tax Expert, Rajesh Hotchandani, who's Entrepreneur and Business Growth Advisor, Gayatri Panda, Business Partner of Temis Technologies. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we start the presentation. If you have any questions or concerns during the presentation, please use the GoToMeeting control panel to leave them in the chat section. We'll have a question and answer session when the presentation is over. I'll bring up all of your queries and our panelists would respond to them all. So let me hand it over to you, Lee. Hello, Lee. You may go ahead with your presentation from here.
Thank you very much, Holly, and hello everyone. Good afternoon to those in the UK and good evening to those in India and other countries. Pleasure to be speaking to you today. So I'm going to be talking today about the tax and legal landscape for employees and entrepreneurs, really just giving you a snapshot and overview. So we're going to be covering basically the legal framework for employees in the UK and also for entrepreneurs, and really showing you why the UK is a great place for technologists either to come to take up employment with a new employer or to start up a business. So myself, I'm a global mobility and employment tax partner at Keystone Law. So I advise both companies and individuals with regards to relocating and taking up employment in other countries, and particularly those individuals who are coming to the UK to take up employment. So let's start then. So I wanted to kick off really, particularly for those who are dialing in. I know many of you from outside of the UK, with just what we mean when we talk about the country, Great Britain, the United Kingdom, England. Because when I was growing up, it was a little confusing to really understand which country I was actually in, because there are so many different terms. So I just wanted to clarify that, because it does have some impact as well in terms of tax and laws, but also it's just good to know when you hear these terms what exactly they mean. So when we refer to Great Britain, we're talking about England, Scotland and Wales. As three countries which go to make Great Britain. The United Kingdom is basically Great Britain plus Northern Ireland, which you see on the left there, the small islands. And you'll often hear people talk about Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and that is in effect the United Kingdom. And you might also hear people from time to time call or refer to the British Isles, which is essentially the United Kingdom plus the Republic of Ireland, which is a separate country, the south of that small island you see to the left there of Great Britain. Republic of Ireland, of course, is an EU country, which is directly on our border now that we've left the EU. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, firstly, why the UK is a great place to live, because I think if you're looking to take up employment in any country, or you're looking to set up a business, of course, the business environment, the economic environment is extremely important. However, you've got to live there, and you've got to live there potentially with your family. And so you want somewhere that actually you can settle, is going to be comfortable, and you're going to be able to live your life as well as the business endeavors that you are pursuing. And in that regard, I mean, I think the UK is one of the best countries in the world really to start a new career. It has a modern progressive society, liberal values. We're a very diverse and inclusive society. So, if you go around London here, and indeed many other cities throughout the UK, you'll find mosques alongside churches. You'll find all races and ethnicities. And we're a real melting pot of people from all across the world. And I think that really makes us a rich nation when it comes to our culture. And also, I think beyond that, there is so much to do and see in the UK. I mean, too much to do here, but from my point of view, great museums with the historical aspects of the UK. There's also our pop culture, theatres in the West End of London and throughout many cities in the UK, and also beautiful landscapes. I mean, I come from the north of England. We have a wonderful coastline. Indeed, if you go further north, we have the Highlands of Scotland and so on. So there is plenty to do and see here if you're here in the UK living, and working or setting up a new job. You won't be short of things to do. Now, in terms of the actual environment, the economic environment, of course, like many countries, it's a challenge at the moment because of the cost of living globally and the effects of the pandemic. But our economy is very robust and is very well placed, really, to weather the turbulence that is coming down the line for all countries globally. For example, between October and December last year, despite all the effects of the pandemic, we still grew by 1%, which to give you some contrast, the Eurozone as a whole grew by 0.3%. So we're really sort of motoring out of the pandemic, as it were. But one statistic I did want to relate to you on top of that, and particularly important for people looking for employment in the UK, is our unemployment rates are very, very low. I mean, at record lows for the UK, and stand up very well globally. So our unemployment rate is at around 4.3% currently, a very low figure, compared to France, for example, at 7.9%, and even the US, which has a 5.1% rate of unemployment. Now, that's really important for anyone taking up a new job because it puts you in a great position. The UK is looking for talent. It's looking for people to expand and grow, specifically those people who have specialist skills in the technology sector. So the UK is a great place to be, and it's a great time to come also. So why is it right specifically for technologists? And the economy is doing well, as especially under the circumstances. But when you look at the technology sector itself, the UK is a hotbed really. In 2020, £15 billion was invested in the sector. That's the third highest inbound investment figure in the world, country in the world, which is phenomenal, really. We have 11 homegrown unicorns in the first half of 2021 alone. A new technology company is started every 30 minutes in the UK. I mean, that's a phenomenal statistic. And I think all that is shown throughout the UK with not just the southeast of London or the more wealthy centres, but all of the UK is bearing witness to the growth in technology companies. From my own hometown of Newcastle, home city, we have a burgeoning industry of artificial intelligence companies, which is brilliant. It's employment for people who were previously perhaps part of the industrial era, now moving into new technologies. So there's plenty of opportunity right throughout the UK. And finally, I just wanted to say, in terms of salaries as well, the technology sector is up there when it comes to salary levels. The average salary level in the technology sector is £53,000 per year. Now that's tens of thousands pounds more than the average across the UK as a whole on all employment. So it's a good sector to be in from a remuneration point of view. In terms of the tax and legal environment, then, I'm going to go on to cover that. But I think that's a particular attraction in the UK because I think we have a really good balance between the rights of consumers, the rights of also citizens and employees, together with the flexibility for entrepreneurs and businesses to thrive and survive. And I think that balance is what attracts many people from around the world to the UK, both to take up employment and also to start businesses. Finally, before I move on, I just want to mention Brexit. As most of you will know, the UK left the European Union, has now left the European Union, and people often will question, what's the impact of Brexit? Has it been negative and so on? And I think the reality is, in truth, that it'll be many years before we see the full effects of Brexit. But I think we have a government and also a business community which is primed really to take advantage of the opportunities that Brexit has presented, and a lot of the turbulence that was forecast has not happened. There has been some additional administrative burdens for those trading cross-border, but there's been no new significant taxes or barriers to business, which is a great thing. And also many of the, regulatory and bilateral agreements between the EU were basically hived up into the trade and cooperation agreement, which was signed at the end of 2020, such that Brexit actually has faded as being a big issue and actually presents an opportunity for the country now going forward. So let's, if we can just move on to the next slide. So looking at the tax and legal landscape for employees then, I wanted just to put up this slide. So if you're an individual overseas thinking of coming and taking up employment in the UK, from a legal perspective, we have a long established system of or book of legislation and also case law which protects employees. I'll pick a few out from those you can see around there. We have a national minimum wage. It's going up to £9.50 per hour. From April of this year, ensuring that people aren't paid too little. We also have legislation on auto-enrollment for workplace pensions, so that if you're an employee of a UK company, you will automatically be enrolled into a workplace pension, and your employer will be obliged to contribute to that pension. So you'll get not just your salary, but your employer contributing to a pension on your behalf. Beyond that, we have very extensive laws when it comes to equality when it comes to race, sexuality, gender, and various other protected characteristics, which makes the UK working environment a very safe one in which to work. Employees are very, very well protected from any potential abuses, which is good for business and good for you, obviously, as potential employees coming to the UK. I just wanted to, sorry, if we could just move on to the next. So in terms of tax, then the UK is instinctively, I think, certainly over the last 3 or 4 decades, has been a low tax country, a country that has striven to make sure that the tax burden on businesses and individuals is not too high, and that's reflected in the various metrics out there. PwC does a survey, the Paying Taxes survey, where they look at the total tax contribution of businesses, and in the UK, and they measure it as a percentage. And in the UK, the percentage is 30.6% of commercial profit. Is the total tax contribution on average across UK businesses. The world average is 40.5%, so a whole 10% gap between the world and the UK, and EU and the European Free Trade Area 39%, so a 9% difference. So in taxes, we are a low tax country. Now, there are some tax rises coming down the line, as there are in many countries, in order to deal with the aftermath of the pandemic, and also the cost of living rise and energy rises generally. But as a whole, the UK remains a low tax country and strives also to continue that tradition. So for employees, we have income. Oh, sorry, just if we flip back a second, thank you. Yeah, so just an overview for employees, we have an income tax regime, as you'll have in your country. I'm sure, like any other, our social security is called national insurance contributions. It covers things like sickness benefits, unemployment benefits, as well as state retirement benefits. When you're coming to the UK, you'll need to assess whether you become resident or when you become resident on the statutory residence test. And also when you become resident during the tax year can have an impact on your tax. So just if you're at the advanced stages of coming here, have a think about when you arrive in the UK, because actually if you arrive, for example, towards the end of a UK tax year, you'll get the benefit potentially of all the tax-free allowances and progressive tax rates for that year because you've not earned anything in it. So that's something to look at. The other key personal taxes being capital gains VAT, that's just on stuff you purchase in the shop, like a sales tax, and inheritance tax. Our taxes for employees are mainly collected via withholding. It's called pay as you earn, but we also have what's called a self-assessment regime, whereby individuals who have untaxed income or who earn, for example, over £100,000 a year, or who are self-employed, would file a self-assessment return with the Inland Revenue. So I've just put our UK income tax and national insurance rates up there. I won't go through those just in the interest of time, but if we can move on to the second slide, Gayatri. If we can just flip over to the next slide. Wonderful. So I just put up there basically the estimated net salary with the current UK tax rates, based on the gross salaries you receive, because it's an important point that obviously when you're looking at job adverts and what employers are advertising, the gross salary, of course, is the figure people focus on, but of course the net figure is the amount that comes into your bank account is probably more important. That's the net figure after UK tax withholding and social security. So I've put the net annual figure there just to give you an indication really of what you can expect to receive. And obviously the monthly will just be those figures divided by 12. We do have a national insurance rise coming in April of 1.25%, which will reduce that net slightly, but overall those figures will still hold true broadly. Okay. So tax reliefs, I wanted to mention these very briefly because the UK has a long tradition of beneficial tax reliefs for individuals who are coming from overseas to work in the UK. The first one, overseas work days relief, allows individuals to claim tax relief in respect of days they work outside of the UK for the first 3 years of residence here, which can be extremely valuable for people who, for example, have a UK role but who will be doing a lot of work throughout Europe, potentially a substantial tax saving if you're non-domiciled and claim overseas work days relief. Non-domiciled basically is non-domiciled individuals are basically those whose permanent home is outside of the UK. The first test of domicile is basically where your father was born where your father was domiciled when you were born. So many people who are citizens overseas, or the vast majority who are citizens overseas and come to work in the UK, will be non-domiciled, and you retain that domicile even when you establish residence initially. So overseas work days relief. There's also home leave relief, which means your employer can pay tax-free for you to go back and forth to your home country. Now that's a good one maybe to negotiate or build into any package, because to receive some of your income rather than them paying you salary, which is tax, you could ask them to put that, you could build into your package some home leave relief rather than salary. Relocation relief, that allows you your employer to reimburse up to £8,000 tax-free airfares, baggage relocation, and so on. Just something else to build into your package, potentially mention to potential employers when you're coming from overseas. And finally, our big tax relief in the UK is once you're here and working, you can pay tax efficiently into a registered UK pension up to £40,000 per year. If you're earning less than £240,000 a year, you can pay up to £40,000 a year into a registered UK pension, which is a big tax saving. Okay, if we can move on. So just very briefly, I wanted to, we talked about employees there coming to the UK. So, a very friendly employment law framework and a very, easy to follow tax system for employees and a withholding regime and some beneficial tax reliefs. For entrepreneurs, then, there, I think equally it's easy to get up and running in business, and I know Rajesh is going to be covering some of this in a bit more detail, but so I'm just going to give you a very brief outline. In terms of the UK, there are various ways you can set up businesses, but the main type of, or the main forms of trade really are to be a sole trader, to come on your own. You don't necessarily need to set up a business. You could start business on your own. Basically pay the tax on any revenue which you make as a sole trader. However, many entrepreneurs and many people setting up for the first time will set up a limited liability company because it has its own legal character, and it separates you from the business, allows you flexibility as to when you draw down income, etc., from the company. There's public limited company, that's when you're listed and shares are offered to the wider world. Or you might want to set up a partnership or a limited liability partnership. Often those are have become popular with professional services firms. But by far the most common structure for entrepreneurs is limited liability companies. There's a comprehensive legal framework in the UK for doing business. But again, I think the UK has a really great balance between not having too much red tape, but focusing legislation on where it matters. So, for example, anti-money laundering regulations, anti-bribery laws, and competition rules ensure that as a new entrepreneur, you have a competitive landscape, but also that it is free from corruption. It's very rare in the UK to get, at least on a day-to-day level, any kind of corruption or anti-competition, anti-competitive practices and so on. And that's because of our robust legal framework. But as I said, it's not so heavy that actually crushes businesses. It's there to support by and large. And finally, I just wanted to mention, much like as I said at the start with regards to tax rates, our corporate tax rates has been very low. I mean, it's 19% on taxable profits. It is set to rise next year up to 25%, but that's on businesses with taxable profits over £250,000. If you're a business with taxable profits of £50,000 or less, then you'll still be at the 19% rate. So still good for entrepreneurs and people who are setting up business for the first time. The other key tax for businesses to account for being VAT to the Inland Revenue. Even alongside a low tax rate, there are also a plethora of tax opportunities: R&D tax credits, enterprise investment scheme, patent box, business asset disposal relief, which actually you may be able to take advantage in order to reduce your overall tax rate in the UK when you're setting up a new business. So to finish up then, in outline today, the UK, it presents a great place both to live, to work, whether you're an employee or whether you're setting up in business for the first time. As with all new ventures, I would say, before you take up something in the UK, is consult widely and build a network of people from all walks of life, professionals, people who've done it before. Prepare a plan and roadmap and identify the support that you'll need before you get here. And other than that, that is me finished today. I would like to wish you good luck for any people who are thinking of coming to the UK. Please don't hesitate to reach out, to send me a message. My email's within the presentation, or to Temis. We'd be more than happy to have an initial chat with you to discuss further your plans specifically. Thank you, Holly. That's the end of my section.
Okay, thank you, Lee, for sharing such insightful content and clarifying many aspects of doing business in the UK and joining employment markets in the UK. So our next speaker is Rajesh Hotchandani, entrepreneur and business growth advisor for the UK and Indian markets. Rajesh, over to you.
Thank you, Holly. Welcome, everyone, and I'm delighted to be here to share my thoughts on why UK is the best place to work and do business. My name is Rajesh Hotchandani. I'm the Managing Director of Browner Technologies. Basically, UK is giving a phenomenal opportunity to come and live here, a wonderful place. Apart from them, it is, for the professionals to look at this country in a two different way. Very, very conducive environment. You can see from this, landscape that UK businesses are embracing technology, particularly post COVID environment, the world has moved from offline to complete online platforms. And you can see the CEO's choice. They are looking for the brilliant people, the best people in the technology landscape to hire, because UK is planning a digital transformation roadmap for the next 5 to 10 years, where post-Brexit, as my colleague Lee has already mentioned, that the government is giving a major thrust and focus in terms of investing into the disruptive technologies, whether it's artificial intelligence, blockchain, or robotic process automation, which means there is a conducive environment for professionals to come and work in UK, and also for the entrepreneurs to come and set up their businesses. I'll be sharing with you the holistic pictures, the cornerstones of a great country, how they have made it possible for the people to see how they fast track their business grow in this country. This is highlighted by the spending patterns. If you see vis-a-vis UK and Europe, so there is a spending pattern where you can see UK is almost spent twice of what the European countries like France and Germany has invested. And that's a testimony to say that post-Brexit environment, UK has become more independent. Earlier, there was a lot of EU bylaws which UK was following, but right now they have got a lot of independence. The first testimony is they are fast tracking the visa systems on the startup and entrepreneur visas. Also the global talent visa, they are looking all the applications quite favorably, which was not there in the past. And the reason is that they want to invite professionals all over the world to come and get this country onto the high growth trajectory. Yes, I think next slide. So ranked top in terms of ease of doing business. Now UK, London is the financial capital of the world. So a lot of BFSI space is thriving in this country, and major investments into the banking and financial service sector just to upgrade their system and getting to the latest. The startup ecosystem is one of the most favorable because UK is all about entrepreneur culture. They're the single person have their own companies and they run it quite phenomenally well. The reason is this is not only your own capital, but the access to the government funding. You won't believe the kind of schemes are there in UK in terms of match funding. Supposedly, some guy is trying to invest £1 million. So government has the future match funding to really match those funding just to support them. I'll be talking about various other schemes in the upcoming slides, but that is the facility which is quite reliable for the entrepreneurs. I think go back, Utkarsha. I think you have moved on the slide. Yeah, so Ernst & Young, basically you see the digital entrepreneurship parameter. UK is the easiest G20 country to establish the digital firm and navigate through the regulatory framework. So one of the important factors is the regulatory framework is very, very powerful. Everything is spelled out very neatly and cleanly in terms of the benefits, in terms of accessibility of the funds, in terms of what are the different growth possibilities, how governments or the endorsing bodies can come and support you. So various reports are published that you can see that London has been looked at a very, very business friendly country, and the investment into various parameters. You can see the Catapult report where UK is now Europe's largest market for VR AR. Metaverse is a thing where Facebook is investing heavily. So in the coming times, people want to have the immersive experiences of looking at how, whether it's new build apartments or they want to do the shopping experience remotely. So they are really creating this roadmap for themselves ahead of the other countries. So the tech industry in the last 10 years has seen a major shift, and you can see almost 200,000 people have been employed. And this has been increasing at a very phenomenal rate, which is self-explanatory. Yeah, move on to the next slide. And UK, why it is quite a promising country? Because of the top universities. companies like Google, Facebook, and the world's leading Amazon, Apple, they have seen that there are Oxford, Cambridge, and there are, UCL, Imperial, top universities of the world. So they have the access to the talent pool where they can get the best of best professionals. And apart from that, we have 5 international airports. So UK is very, very accessible all around the world, whether it's Asia Pacific, US, or Middle East. So the flights are round the clock, very, very advanced and modern airports. Talented migrants want to come to UK, and Britain was ranked 7th out of the 93 countries in the Global Talent Competitive Index, which measures countries' ability to attract and nurture the talent. So from the labor marketing perspective, it's a highly educated class of people who live in UK, and they really are having a very high quality of life. Yes, move on. Business-friendly environment. Government is really after the innovation. If you can see, they have come out with the innovator visa, one of the best, and huge tax incentives for the SMEs and the MSME sector. So we have almost lowest corporate tax rate in the G7 countries, and in G20 we are, jointly among the low rate taxes, for the enterprises. We have a solid track record of fostering technical innovation. Investors in the small enterprises are very, very keen to look at what are the innovative piece, and there are very, very attractive schemes of SCIS and EIS where suppose I'm an individual, I'm working in a company and almost £100,000 sort of salary I'm drawing, and I'm paying a tax of say 27 to 30,000 pounds. So if I invest almost £50,000 in any SME enterprise, I'll get back 25,000. Now that's phenomenal. I have never heard anywhere. So the government says that if you are helping the entrepreneurs, you can just basically get the tax benefits back as fast as possible. So there are various schemes pertaining to R&D and patented tax back, which we can just look at it and we can discuss in detail because we have a business advisory and the consulting arm where we can help you through and through. There are angel investors, there are basically business venture capitalists. So London is surrounded with all these. There are industry-wide investors, like there is a HR tech industry, so there are investors from that fraternity. Also, there are crowdcube platforms and various other avenues of getting the funding in place for business, because if you start business, it continuously needs support on the funding front. So that's also a very smooth sort of area in basically UK. Yeah, move on. So basically, coming back to identifying the investors, the process remains the same, that you need to submit your very strong business plan and then show them that how you will bring the return on investment for them. But again, access to the capital and also the interest, or sorry, the percentage interest, I would say, if you're raising the debt or, is quite low, is phenomenally low, which helps, even from the banks, we are looking at the interest rates of between 3 to 6% on the capital which you want to draw, which is quite substantially lower than the other countries. And it is all about promoting the businesses and so that they can see the growth. Yeah, move on. Robust infrastructure, I've already spoken about. This is just few of the add-ons that UK has a phenomenal infrastructure. We have the latest 5G networks in place, because if you want to see the immersive network experience, you need to have these mobile networks which are latest, can take the bandwidth of that size. Even there are enterprise-wide networks which are coming in place to have a very, very low latency across, so that you have the extremely high gaming experiences. Similarly, on the logistics performance index, you can see we are quite ahead of most of the leading countries. Yeah, move on, Karshan. Few of the success stories. Infograde is a British firm which is situated in England, and the firm uses artificial intelligence to automate the building management system and facility for the managers. The firm has been able to raise almost $15.5 million in a short span of time, and has been successfully moving forward. So this is one of the success stories of the startup. The another company is SideQuest. There's a British startup in Belfast. They have virtual reality apps and games through which they are able to track the VR devices. This investment also, they have raised around $3.6 million and allowed company to expand and develop. There are more very innovative sort of stories, and successfully I keep advising a lot of entrepreneurs in taking this to the next level, and we will be happy to share with you more how the roadmap looks like in this particular scheme of things. So that is it from my side, and really thankful to all of you for sparing your valuable time and coming to our webinar. This is first of the series from Themis, and thanks to Gayatri and the entire team for really organizing this, and we'll be coming out with more and more in the coming months. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you, Rajesh, for clarifying the UK business landscape and helping our audience to make well-informed decisions. Our next speaker is Gayatri Panda, business partner of Themis Technologies. Over to you, Gayatri.
Thank you, Holly. Good afternoon to everyone. To introduce myself, I'm a business partner, Themis Technologies. I help technologists work and settle in the UK as an employee or as an entrepreneur. So I appreciate Rajesh and Lee for such an insightful presentation. They explained why UK is a great place to work or do business. Lee has covered employment aspect with more elaborate tax information. Rajesh, he covered the business aspect while focusing on investment, and they provided great information and fully clarified why UK is one of the most attractive destinations for a technologist. Now I'm going to give you a brief on how you can join the UK for business or work. Let's start with the business. The United Kingdom introduced two flagship programs named the Startup and Innovator Visa to stimulate the innovation and entrepreneurship and maximize the economic growth. While the Startup Visa program is designed for new or early stage entrepreneurs, Innovator is for the experienced entrepreneurs. These programs aim to encourage more innovative, viable, and scalable business in the UK. So if you are planning to set up a business but not sure which category you need to select, either the startup or the innovator, let me help you. The startup visa allows you to experiment your idea and see if the new market and your new idea is working. And this startup visa is it's ideal for the inexperienced entrepreneurs, and innovator visa is much more serious business, like no experimentation, rather direct work for your business, and it's best for the highly experienced entrepreneurs. As you see the slide, you can see that UK innovator visa is for 3 years, UK startup visa is for 2 years. In startup visa there is no investment requirement, and you are allowed to do a job or earn salary to support yourself. But in innovator visa, you can see you are not allowed to do a job, and there is a requirement for the investment. At least right now, as per the current regulation, there is a requirement. So in innovator visa, you are eligible for the ILR, which is indefinite leave to remain after 3 years. In a startup, you are not eligible for a direct ILR. Rather, you need to switch to the innovator category, and you are allowed to switch even before 2 years. If you are able to set up your company before 2 years, you can even switch or upgrade to innovator visa. And in innovator category, you can extend your visa any number of times. While in the startup category, you can't extend your visa, rather you need to switch to the innovator category. So overall, the business visa provides these Startup and Innovator Business Visa, they provide you an international platform and access to the thriving UK economy and the booming UK tech sector. If you see the benefits, the first thing is that it's one of the fastest processing time visa. For example, if you're applying for, let's say, Canada or Australia, you might have to spend maybe 1 year or 2 years to get a starter visa. Here, for the UK starter visa, hardly you need 2 months. Even within 1 month, you can apply, get the endorsement, apply for the visa, and come to UK. That quick. And the requirement, as you see clearly, there is no investment required for a startup. Let's say someone planning to come to UK, but they don't have the investment amount. Perfectly fine, they can apply for the startup category and they can switch to innovator when they're ready, with their business. And this visa allows you to get the ILR, or the permanent settlement, or in other countries you call it permanent residency. So maybe in the starter visa you are not directly going to get the ILR, but you can switch even before 2 years and get the ILR. You can do a job in a startup category while you're setting up your business, and this visa can be extended under the innovator category, and you can bring your family members who can do a job, or they can set up their own company. And the best part, under this visa you can do multiple businesses. It's not like that only one business you need to operate. No, you can set up multiple business, and during this period you can anytime leave UK, enter UK. So, how can we help you getting a business visa? So, the business visa application consists of two things, two stages. First is the endorsement, stage two is the visa application. And stage one endorsement is the most critical stage. So, here we can assist you with the best presenting your business idea in line with the Home Office requirement, which is innovation, viability, and scalability. Innovation means the idea should be new or adding some value to the UK economy or UK sector. Viability means you have the talent, or you have the skills, or you are in a position to set up the company, means your idea is actually doable. And the scalability means your business idea has the potential to grow. If you don't have the business idea, we also support you developing an innovative, viable, and scalable business idea. So in compared to other visa categories, the business visa, this UK business visa, which is startup and innovator, is going to provide you a guaranteed path to settlement. If you compare with any other categories, this is the only category where you're getting a guaranteed path. We are collaborated with more than 20 endorsing bodies, and we can assist you to get the best and less expensive endorsement offer. Overall, we have a very transparent and fair fee structure. If you would like to know or learn more about this business visa, whether startup or innovator, you can visit our website. If your objective is to do a job or employment, remember, job market is changing rapidly, especially during the COVID and Brexit time. Previously proven career strategies are no longer relevant. Besides, what works in India might not work in UK. So we designed a career consulting program to assist international technologists. Whether you are planning to come to UK for the first time, or you are already in a stagnant job in the UK, this program will help you advance in the UK's tech career. I would say the skills from this program will be with you for lifelong. It's a lifetime skill you're going to develop through this program. So moving next, so our career consulting program entails immigration and visa consulting. So we would be helping you with unbiased and correct information on how the best visa or immigration route for you for your career. It doesn't matter if you're going to do the visa with us or you're going to select any other consulting company. We would be helping you with the correct information. We would be helping you with the job search and job application support, which includes which includes helping you to understand the UK job market, then how how it works in UK, job platforms and job application strategies, and how you're going to apply for all the jobs which is matching with your skills. We also help you with the CV, cover letter, and LinkedIn as per the UK market and specific to your job requirements. That will make sure you're getting at least an interview call. Then we also help in the interview preparation as per the UK standard. We would be preparing you to crack the interview, to clear the interview and move to the next stage. We also help you in the salary and negotiation, which is again it's a skill which you can use anytime during your job period, maybe to negotiate for a promotion. So also we're going to help you to understand the UK tax system, the payment system, you can the market, how you need to negotiate your salary. Apart from that, once you join your new job, we will prepare you to succeed, to help you to grow in your career. 30, 60, 90 days plan where you can thrive in your career. So if you want to know more about this, you can visit our website, and or you can write to us. That's from my end. Thank you so much. Over to Holly. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Gayatri, for sharing that useful information. So if anybody wants any further information, please contact us via email or WhatsApp. You can also follow us on any of our social media platforms and get in touch. So we'll now be moving on to the Q&A. So we have about 10 minutes left for the Q&A. If there are any questions that we don't get round to, please feel free to contact us either by email or WhatsApp, and we can get back to you. So question number one. So I'm from Nigeria. I recently applied for a startup visa through Temis Technologies, and within a month I received my endorsement, and now I'm applying for the visa. So my question is to Rajesh, how should I form a company in the UK, and how long it will take for me to set up a company?
Yeah, I think welcome. Setting up a company in UK, you need to have first the name, the domain booked, and basically the memorandum of understanding. You need to look at that. What are the different sort of parameters you will be doing business, because UK needs to understand basically the company house, that which tax code you will be falling under. Then we can recommend you a chartered accountant who can help you set up your company as a foreign national, or once you have got the startup visa, as you said, you can be the director of the company. And if you want an advisory services, if you need any kind of hand holding in terms of devising a plan, we can definitely help you. Because of the paucity of time, I cannot take this question in greater detail, but we can arrange a free consultation session just to help you understand a little bit more about the initial structure you would like to set in UK, so that you will get all the required support, and we can take you through that journey. Then that you can be rest assured. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh. So we've got another question here. So thank you, Lee, for the information. I'm from India and currently building an innovative solar technology product and planning to move to the UK under Innovator Visa. What are the tax benefits I should expect from the UK government?
Well, I mean, I think there are two sides to it. One is the business, the potential business tax efficiencies, which Rajesh covered and would be probably better placed to answer. But one of the key things from a UK point of view is that as a non-domiciled individual, essentially you'll only be taxed on any investments arising in the UK. So any income that you've got arising from non-UK businesses, rental properties, investments and so on will not be subject to UK tax, even as a resident. And there are certain conditions around not remitting that income to the UK, but a lot of non-domiciled people come into the UK for the first time find that very attractive. I think though the main tax incentives will be from a business point of view. I don't know if Rajesh, you'd want to pick that up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So from the business point of view, we need to look at what kind of business model is there. I'll give you a very brief 1 or 2 minutes this thing because we would like to cover a few more questions. But UK government is very keen to look at your innovation piece and the technology piece which you will be putting in your business. You have a very say artificial intelligence based process or robotic process automation process, and I have got various models which I can discuss with you separately over a one-to-one direct call. But they want to look at it how you are, putting your efforts or the money into the research and development activity, and that's where there are drawbacks on the R&D, where you can draw your money once you have an year which is spent over here. Also, you can be tabling your business model in front of various angel investors or something, if you really want to see you get the access to further capital. So there is a whole host of process in terms of taking to next level and stage, and I'll be happy to have a discussion on this with you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh. So we have another question. So I'm from India. I'm looking for a job in the UK with experience of project management and PMO in telecoms, reputed COS. I'm not sure about COS or COS. Will you help in sharing my CV of potential jobs in UK and guide me on visa requirements?
Yeah, that one is for me, I guess. Okay, so yeah, through this career consulting program, we would be helping like identifying what kind of jobs will be more appropriate. COS means like he or she might got a sponsorship from a company. Okay, so our career consulting program is designed to support people to understand the right visa category for them, how they can crack interviews, how they can get a job here. Also, even if someone is already in a job, how they can thrive in that job, how they can grow, like how they can get promotions, how or at least switch jobs where they will get much more, better salary. So career consulting program is for that. It's better if I don't know the name of the person. If the person can directly contact us, we will set up a free consultation.
Okay, thank you, Gayatri. Right, so we have another question. So hi, I'm looking for startup visa. How do you assist in finding the investor for the business? Also, what is the minimum time I need to run business to move to innovator visa?
Again, it's for me. So for the startup visa, we're not going to find an investor for that particular startup. Rather, we help them to understand the UK market, where they will get the support system, how they can grow their career, their business. Okay, but we're not going to directly identify investor for them, but there are many endorsing bodies, they are even the investors. If they like they like the idea, if they like the business, even if they like the team, they're going to invest. Okay, and with respect to how they can move to the this innovator category, so with respect to that, if they're able to set up the company within 6 months, why not? They can even upgrade, the same endorsing body will upgrade the business or the founder of the business to the innovator category. So you can say 6 months, 1 year, even it's up to them. Whenever they're ready with the business, they will be upgraded to innovator category.
Okay, thank you. And then somebody's just wondering, we could say more detail how to set up a one-to-one call with anyone.
Is it for startup or like overall career or?
It doesn't state in the question, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they can send the email, basically. The email is there and they can reach us out, and we'll be happy to see who is the best in terms of if it is not clarified. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so our next question, it says, I'm planning to set up a health technology startup in the UK, but not sure which city I should choose for my business. Any suggestions at all?
Yeah, health technology basically, depends on the investment plan, the horizon, depends on the size of business, the amount of investment they are looking at it, because it all encompasses, ideally, see, London is the central town where most of the big corporates or the government agencies or other, even the funding or the startup from the network perspective or anything in vicinity of London is preferable. But from the research perspective, see, Cambridge is an area where a lot of big companies are setting up their houses in a big way. So there's a zone completely from the enterprises perspective. So we need to understand with you in little more detail in regards to your plan, because it all depends on what is your overall framework. See, a lot of people want to come to UK, and today there are many attendees who are aspiring, and we are there to help in a most genuine way in guiding them that, while it is good expectation to see that out of countries like Africa, India, or Dubai, they would like to see the job in UK straight away. But the first thing is right to work. So all the UK enterprises will be looking at someone who has a right to work, and this is where our specialization comes at Themis and Brown Earth also. That we look at that how we help you uh, come to UK, have your base, and then look for job. And as Lee mentioned correctly, you see the job sort of percentages. So a lot of jobs are available, but it takes time. I mean, obviously, you need to take care of yourself for the first few months. You can't get it straight away until unless you are very, very lucky. So there is a whole process, and the UK finally rewards you in a big way. That is what I would say. Yeah, Holly, over to
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, so it looks like all we've got time for today. So thank you, Lee, Rajesh and Gayatri, for the informative presentation and answering questions of our participants. So this concludes the webinar. So before we sign off, we appreciate all of the attendees are joining the webinar, and I hope you have some clarity on why is the UK an excellent place to work and start up a business. Feel free to reach out to us via email or WhatsApp or through social media if you're interested and want to know more. Once again, thank you for attending the webinar and have a great week.